Hey guys, Austin with MeasureSquare here, and today we're going to take a look at some of the updates coming to our new release for MeasureSquare Stone. We're going to start off with what we feel are the most notable improvements to the program. We now have third layer splash and laminates that we can use to enhance our drawing abilities. I've already went ahead and added some of these to a desk. Now on the right side, it's a little bit different from the left side, and which method you use all depends on what results you're after. So on the left side, we have slabs that are coming towards the center from either side, and on the left we have one continuous slab. If we would like a unified front, like what we have over on the right, but we would like a seam like we have with two slabs over on the left, then what we can do is we can adjust to equal the halfway point. So this is 3 feet wide, so 1'6" is kind of what we're after. So we'll just make that adjustment. And if we go back into 3D view, we can see that although it looks the same, it's very different. You can find a third layer splash and laminate in the same area that you can find the second layer splash and laminate. So if you're familiar with those, it shouldn't be too difficult to find for you. Now we have batch functions available for cutouts as well. So cutouts, good for sinks or anything else that you might use. But if we go into our templates, I have one prepared for us today. And we'll just go ahead and drag this template into our desk here. And you can see that it came out with the cutouts for the faucet as well as a cutout for the sink. Just if this were a countertop, not a desk. And if we would like to center this, we can do so. Just make sure that we select everything that is part of the cutout that we would like to set the position for. We'll right click on it, set the cutout position, maybe grab it from the center. We can do perpendicular, and then make sure, so we are at 3 feet, so this should be 1'6". And then we are at 8'10", so we'll do 4'5". After we've done that, we can of course rid ourselves of the dimension lines, or we can keep them. And in addition to using the set cutout location, if we hold Control and we select all of them like so, we can manually adjust them anywhere that we would need. Maybe for instance if we want it a little higher or a little lower, we can go ahead and make that change manually as well. And at this point, we should all be familiar with what our linear product looks like, right? We've got the eased edge and this mitered edge. So if we take a look at some of our options here, the new one is linear product as symbol. So when I click on this, you can see it's going to uncheck product as line, and we're going to get all these symbols. Now the same view can be utilized from the Slab Optimizer and the Slab Layout. So if we go to the Slab Optimizer, you can see it inside of here. And then if we go to the Slab Layout, then we can see that in here as well. So just like we have the option in Takeoff, right, we're going to have that same option to view it as a line or as a symbol from each of these tabs. And you might be thinking, Slab Layout, what is that? And you would be correct, right? It used to be dry lay, but in this update we changed the wording just to better fit the intent of the tab. In addition to that change, we've also included a similar expansion menu, right? So this is for our project tabs for our Takeoff, and we have a similar expansion menu now for all of our different products from within the Slab Layout. Now if we go back to our Takeoff tab, then I'll show you a few more things that are specific to our Stone program that we've also included, starting with our countertop draw. So draw countertop, in the past it was drag to draw, right? So if I check that box and then I just kind of trace out a random shape, that's going to be what it is. But if I uncheck that box, now as a default, every point that I click is going to be where that corner is created. So that can be a little bit more helpful as well. Notes are now rotatable. So if we go ahead and place down this note here, we can select it, go to rotate, and if you click on the red in the very center of the tool, you can draw a line and then we can rotate this however we would like, or we can just use that 90-degree rotate. Segments received an upgrade in this update. If we go on segment, now you can see the text has been highlighted. So if I type in 10 feet and hit enter, it'll automatically update to that length. Let's try 5 feet over here. And it'll hold whatever position I have my mouse cursor in. Products now have an extra field. So if we go into this beveled edge, we can see this abbreviation field. So it says beveled edge 1 1/4 inch. So that could be pretty helpful for fabricators. And that's also available to be seen from our worksheet. So if we go to the worksheet and we go to the beveled edge, we may have to turn that on real quick. So we'll go to select columns, we'll find abbreviations, we'll turn that on. Now we're going to have this abbreviation and it'll show us all the edges for whichever areas. And one of my favorite parts is if we come in here and we look at any of these, we can actually right click on the line and find it in the takeoff and it'll take us right to it. So you can see it's highlighted right here. If we zoom in, we can see here's that beveled edge, 1 1/4. So our next series of changes are inspired by our flooring software, MeasureSquare 8. Now those are fully incorporated for you to enjoy inside MeasureSquare Stone. So first up is markup and margin. We'll turn those on from our select columns, and then we'll just do edges, and we're going to mark these up maybe 20%. Hopefully you can see how that's a quick and easy way to mark up a bunch of products all at once and save you some time. Additionally, we go back to our area takeoff. We were looking at notes and rotating notes, but additionally we do have tables now. So we can bring out a table, we can include whatever information that we want in here, and it's customizable, almost a little bit like Excel. So you can lengthen the cells and shorten them, and then you do have some configuration there as well. So we're also able to set tile textures. So if we go to this, I have an empty room ready to go, and we'll just put this inside this room. So you can see the tile texture there. What I did to get this in was I went to a website and I copied the URL right here. Now, instead of using the URL, what we used to do in the past, which is just go to tile texture, import your images, find it on your computer, open it, set the texture, click OK, and that'll work too. But the update here is specifically for those image URL links. Now, we have a bunch of different types of products, right? So when you go to create a product, we have all of these, and count has always been one, right? So we can see we have a few of those already here, most notably these undermount sinks down at the bottom. And if we want to add those in, we can just find one of them and drag and drop it into the area. And let's see, while we're dragging and dropping, we do have some text at the bottom of our screen. So it says control to turn on and off the pop-up. So I'm just going to hold that and then release. So while it was on my mouse, I was holding control, I released. Now we have this new input count. So I can, of course, duplicate the room, but if it's not duplicated, maybe I've got 3 sinks, on a long countertop, whatever it is, I can just type however many I need. So as opposed to sinks, it could be really anything that you need a count of. Now, going back to this tile product that we had, if we did want to sell by box, we can of course open up the product information window, go to sell by box, maybe we get 65. square feet in a box, and we have our box, or we have our pricing by the square foot, right? But we would need to calculate by the box. We have this new link here, so we can just click on this, and then that'll calculate how much it's going to cost per box. You know, what it's going to cost for us and what it's going to cost for our customers. And that is taking that square foot per box into account. So as long as you have every piece of information there entered correctly, it should transfer over in the way that we're looking for. Just once you click on that, be sure to save, and we can lock in that box price. Now, these next inclusions are for rooms specifically. So this is for stone and tile. You know, this is a room that I have drawn. So continuing on with rooms, we do have ceilings, right? So if I turn on my walls, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls. You can see them highlight as we go around. But if I right click here, then what I can do is I can go to room edit, and I can find the option for create ceiling. And then it's just going to give me a top-down view. It is a basic ceiling, but that's in there now as well. And in addition to that, we do have elevations, right? So when we think of elevation, it could be a countertop, it could be an L countertop, it could be a tub, a variety of things. And it does take out the flooring area, right? So if I were to add product into either of these areas, it's not going to be counted in there. But the new option that we added is if you open the property menu, right, it can be collapsed, so you can just open it there. And when we select the elevation, you know, we'll find the elevation section, and then we have these two deductions here. So if we uncheck deduct ground, we can see how now that product is flowing under there. And then if we uncheck deduct walls, now when we look at our walls, that's filled in as well. So talking about AI, we have taken a few notes from our other program, and we've included them inside MeasureSquare Stone. So first off is, you know, we're going to need a plan for this to work, and we're going to show you the auto takeoff, right? So this is a 1/4 scale, so I'm going to scale that. That's very important. We're going to give it its own tab. Here we go. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click on that plan and process the OCR just for this plan in this case. And once that's done, we'll be able to utilize not only the auto takeoff, but the auto room label. So when I say auto room label, this is what I mean. So we're going to draw a room, right? And by encapsulating the text that's inside there from the plan, it's actually reading behind the layer, and we can do exam room 2, right? So if we reset exam 2, you can see that populate there. And then I can just name all these rooms as I'm going using the text that's inside there. So the other thing that we can do is we can run the auto takeoff rooms. So this doesn't work for elevations, and it does take about 60 seconds or less to complete a takeoff. But I'm going to edit that out in the interest of your time so you can see what's going on and what we've got to share with you. And you can see here that it's got 28 rooms populated. So that's really pretty good. You can see it's covered most of the areas just fine. And it's even included doorways as well in most cases. Thank you so much for joining me for the MeasureSquare Stone update, and hope to see you next time.